1970. And it's happened. Why has it happened? Because it was the agenda way back then and before that it was going to happen. So we think Obama's in control as a president, but it goes through him to Brzezinski and many, many other people in the cartel around him, and to a person here called George Soros, the infamous global financier, who's been a major funder of his campaign. This might get controversial, I don't care, needs saying. Around Obama is the most extraordinary network of Zionists. And this is a key one. He's White House Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel. He's an American citizen, but he served in the Israeli army. And his father was a member of a terrorist group called Irgun that helped to bomb Israel into existence in 1948. Now, one thing I want to make clear here, because this is lost in the translation on purpose. Zionism and Jewish people in general is not the same thing. What they want is for us to believe that, so that in talking about Zionism, which is a political system and a political belief, is the same as talking about Jewish people. It is not. And how many have seen the number of Jewish people who oppose Zionism? When do you ever see that on the news? Who don't believe it's right and don't believe it's part of Jewish history and all the rest of it? Then it's never seen. What's sold to us is all Jewish people believe in Zionism. Rubbish! But because they've equated the two, then you get called racist when you talk about Zionism. I don't care. It needs saying, and I'm going to say it. If people don't like it, we're racist, they can bugger off. I'll tell you what Zionism is. It is a political system created not by Jewish people, but by the Rothschild family. Used to be the Bauer family, until it became the Rothschild banking dynasty, created by a guy called Mayer Anstal Rothschild in the 1700s, early 1800s. And they created Zionism, not for Jewish people and a homeland for Jewish people, but as a means of creating this agenda, by creating constant conflict in the Middle East. Now, they paid for the Knesset, the Israeli parliament building, built by the Rothschilds. Most of the early settlers from Europe into Israel, or Palestine as it was paid for by the Rothschilds, all part of the game. It was the Rothschilds who paid for the Israeli Tel Aviv Supreme Court building, which is full of esoteric symbols, Illuminati symbols. And no one has been had more in this scam than Jewish people in general, who've been led to believe that Zionism means one thing when it's going to hang them out to dry. In fact, Zionism and its political belief system under different names in the past, or no names, has hung Jewish people out to dry so many times through history to advance an agenda. These people can't give a damn about Jewish people. They just use them as a front to hide behind. Because the Rothschilds aren't Jewish in that sense at all. They're one of these hybrid bloodlines which infiltrate all peoples. So Rahm Emanuel is a massive manipulator and controls Obama's every thought. And alongside him in the White House is a guy called David Axelrod, another Zionist, extreme Zionists I'm talking here, who ran the entire election campaign for Obama and now dictates what appears in words on his autocue screens, his teleprompter screens. If you see Obama, right from the election campaign to today, he never looks straight there. He looks there, he looks there, he looks there, he looks there, whatever he's doing. And the reason he's doing that is because either side of him are teleprompter screens with the words that he's reading. And these words are written by, or written by, David Axelrod. He is so welded to these teleprompter screens, because he appears to be an intelligent man, but he's just an actor, that on St. Patrick's Day this year, Obama thanked himself for inviting everybody to a St. Patrick's Day gathering because someone else's script had been left on the teleprompter screens when he went up to read. He's now known by more and more people in America as the teleprompter president. And he's reading other people's words. Now, one of his major funders, who raised about $500,000 for his election campaign, is this man, Louis Sussman, extreme Zionist, who was vice president of Citigroup, which was Zionist, who was vice president of Citigroup, which was one of the major players in creating this economic crash in America. He's resigned about a month ago, and Puppet Obama has now appointed him, or is in the process of appointing him, United States ambassador to London. This is an Obama who said there will be no cronyism and giving good jobs for funding under my administration. So we're going to see no change in American support for the appalling events that happen in Gaza, the most crowded piece of land in the world. And in Israel now, we have a powder keg. We have real extremists in Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, Lieberman, the Foreign Minister, who's so far right he meets himself coming back, and this guy Barak, who's the Defense Minister and was through the last regime when they were bombing innocent people in Gaza from the sky and burning the bodies of children with white phosphorus. Now they want a battle, they want a fight, that's what they've been brought in for. And this guy, Martin van Creveld, who's a well-known and kind of top-notch military historian in Israel, said this: "We possess several hundred atomic warheads and rockets and can launch them at targets in all directions, perhaps even at Rome. Most European capitals are targets for our Air Force. We have the capability to take the world down with us, and I can assure you that that will happen before Israel goes under." How many times have you had a discussion or seen a discussion on television or anywhere about the fact that Israel has a massive arsenal of nuclear weapons? Oh, we talk about Iran. They've not even got them yet. Can't stop talking about it. Israel wouldn't even talk about it. No. Today, in fact, it was reported today, so it was yesterday, Barack Obama. Obama won't force Israel to admit it has nuclear weapons. Official. US President Barack Obama's administration will not force Israel to state publicly whether it has nuclear weapons, an Israeli official says. He said yesterday Washington would stick to a decades-old US policy of don't ask, don't tell. Everyone knows they've got them, no one talks about it. World's fair, eh? This is what Zionism is about. Palestinian agreement, are you kidding? Never wanted it. The Greenland is what Palestinians were settled in 1946, 1947, 1967, 2000, and it's got smaller since. Look at that strip of land. Most populated piece of land on the planet, Gaza. It's about driving people out, not making agreements with them. And all this stuff is all going on around this target area. What's that area like a hawk? Liar, liar. The great masses of the people will more easily fall victims to a big lie than a small one. Change. Hope. Something to believe in. This is my Obama rule. Ignore the words and watch the actions. And his actions could be George Bush over and over again. Oh, this shows that nothing's ever changed. There's Bono. There you go. There's Bono again. There you go. Nothing ever changes.